It's that time again.
Hey, how we doing?
Here we are. Monday again.
Monday, living, chilling,
Stay strong, people.
doing that good vibing.
Almost there. Yeah, hey, how's it going? Happy Monday. How you doing? You right?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm
Yeah,
good. I'm
chilling?
really good.
Alright,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm just excited. What about you? Tell us.
Yeah, good, man. I'm looking forward to playing Miles Morales. I
Yes.
don't have a PS5, for those of you that will ask.
Likewise.
I don't think I'm going to get one this side of Christmas.
No.
So instead, I'm going to do what I can and play Miles Morales on the old school.
I hear that. I
you know
I
what?
respect that.
I'm a patient man. I can handle load times.
Yeah. No. Can you? Can you
Yeah,
though?
well, can I?
I don't know.
I think that's probably the reason why I can't replay The Witcher. Is because those load times are endless.
Do you know what? I was talking to someone about this the other day because they've got their brand new PS5 now, and it's all like, oh, look at the load times. And then he said to me, shout out Danny Zavi. He said to me, I'm going to try putting in an old game,
Yeah,
to see what the load times are like. And I said to him, dude, put The Witcher on, right? Put The Witcher on to test them load times properly because they had mammoth load times.
They were huge.
They were huge.
Yeah, they were huge.
I was saying to him, look, dude, I fully walked out the room and made a slice of toast
Yeah,
on them load times.
put a
You know
kettle
what
on with The
I mean?
Witcher load times. I mean, understandably, because the game is that big.
Yeah, true. And there's a lot in it and there's a lot of depth in it. But man,
Let me ask you a question though.
yeah.
How many games do you play at once? Do you play how many games at any one moment? How many games do you play at once? And I don't mean like you're playing
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
and you're playing this
Yeah.
during the week. I'm saying at one time you sit down to play your PlayStation or whatever.
Yeah.
How many games do you play in that one moment?
In that, I mean,
Stay with me.
okay. Well, I'm only really playing that one game.
So why are people telling me, like, why are you reading the news and you're reading the interesting thing and everyone's like, oh, you know what though, that Microsoft,
Yeah.
they got that quick load,
Yeah. That quick load, that quick swap.
so I can sit there.
Yeah.
I got 4 games on at the same time, and I can swap between them. And you're like,
All right.
why?
I mean,
Because they're like PlayStation. You know what? Yeah, PlayStation's old
Yeah.
because when I load one game, when I turn that game off, that's it. That game's gone.
Yeah.
You're like, well, yeah, because you're not playing it.
yeah, exactly. Like, are you? Oh man.
For those of you that don't know, by the way, Microsoft has this new feature called Quick Swap or Quick Load or Quick Resume, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole point of it is that you can power up a game and you're playing that game, and then you can stop playing that game and instantly switch to another game.
Yeah.
And then if you get bored of playing that game, you can go back to the game you were playing previously, and it will hold that frame, like to the frame. It will load very, very quickly,
It's
exactly
really
where
impressive.
you're at. It's an impressive bit of kit.
Yeah.
And it's great. I get it. Like, so Max Dude, who's a YouTuber, did this thing where he was playing Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, I remember how to do that combo in Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game.
Yeah.
Switches over, plays it, does it, nails it, and then goes back to playing Monster Hunter 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
And it's in exactly the same place. It doesn't even have a loading screen. It's just in.
No, it's just straight back in there.
But now people are using that as an excuse to be like, yeah, but PlayStation doesn't have that. And I'm like, well,
It's not a deciding factor though. It's not. The thing of it is, like, sorry to jump in here,
No.
but you know, it's an impressive feature that the Xbox has, and you can't argue that, right? Like, you know, if you want to dip in and out of a few games at the same time, fine. But at the same time, I don't feel as though. Like, how much are you gonna do that?
exactly. And this is the thing where you're seeing people reviewing it saying it's like a masterpiece. And I don't see myself
Yeah.
jumping around. The only time I could see myself honestly jumping around is if I'm playing whatever, Miles Morales, for example.
Yeah.
If this is say I'm playing an Xbox game, right?
Yeah.
And someone on Apex goes, oh, do you fancy a game?
Yeah.
I can jump over
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
to be like, oh yeah, cool, I'm in, let's play.
Yeah,
And then once
yeah.
we finish playing, I can then go back
You
to
go back to your
whatever's
original
playing
game. Yeah, that's fine for that.
But even now on the PS4, that's not a hard maneuver. You sit and watch a load screen for
What, 10, 15 seconds?
if that.
Like,
and
what
then
you
kinda
doing in them 10, 15 seconds? Like, where do you need to go somewhere?
Yeah. But also, normally you have to log into the system and da-da-da. So as much as I think that having 3-4 games on at any one time,
Yeah.
it's cool. But I wasn't sitting here playing the PlayStation 4 going, God, you know what? Yeah, I really wish I could just switch to 3 other games at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, it's come around as one of those things, with regard to Xbox anyway, that we didn't. It's not necessarily something that we asked for, but it is impressive.
It's
right?
cool. I mean, it's good
very,
to have.
very, it's good. It's really, really good to have.
Yeah,
And in a situation like you just described, if you're playing something else that's just say like heavily story driven or whatever,
Single player,
yeah, and then I don't know, DJ comes in and says, "Oh, what? Quick game at Apex? Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, let me just swap in real quick. That's cool.
Yeah. But them extra 15 seconds ain't gonna do much.
Exactly. Like it's not. Nah.
I mean, look, load times are cool. Load times are the biggest thing that the next gen has been touting, is that there are no load times. Like, it takes you 15 seconds to get into the campaign.
Yeah.
Next week, I will tell you how long it takes me to get into the Miles Morales campaign on PS4. And that's great. I love the idea of like these load times being non-existent. I have a PC. The load times are pretty short.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you got a beast of a PC.
Yeah. So, I'm interested to see a console be able to do that because, it's more widely received with people that I know that play those games. I just love the fact that people are using these things as centerpieces to explain, oh, this is amazing because you can play 4 games at once. I'm like, when were you doing that?
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, as much as I might, crap on The Witcher for having, an obscene amount of load time, I probably won't mind going out and making me a cup of tea while something loads. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gives me a little pause for reflection.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, what was interesting is that the fear of death in The Witcher, the fear of death and the load times has made me not fight harder. I don't want to load to those load times, so I'm going to fight twice as hard and be twice as careful. There's a reason you don't die in The Witcher. There's load times, but. Yeah, I don't know. I think that was an interesting thing I wanted to talk about. Because I think the S looks great, and I love the Game Pass idea, but I just didn't understand the whole like centerpiece of it being like, Max called it the ADHD box. I can play this game, I can play that game. Oh yeah, by the way, this is an interesting fact. They dropped another Night City Livewire, which is basically a kind of developer diary of Cyberpunk. And this one pissed me off. This one actually pissed me off because it was a case of I'm already at a position where we're going, no, you're laughing, see? This one got to me because it was like, it was cool because they're talking about Johnny Silverhand, and which is Keanu Reeves' character in the game. Yeah. And it was showing footage of Keanu Reeves in mocap, or performance capture, I should say. And it was cool because it was like him talking about the game and why he wanted to do that one. He's done voice acting before, but the reason why he was interested in doing Cyberpunk, and it was really, really cool. Like, it was really, really interesting. But then it went into asking the dev what it was like to work with him, and then it went into da-da-da-da-da, and then it went into a trailer. Right. Another one. Right? Yeah. So this game is 3 weeks out, 2 weeks out, and it's not like we need to be reminded. Like, you can see on Steam, it's like the #1 sold game, and people are going to be buying the shit out of this game. The trailer went so far as to tell you what was happening in this. It told you the story. So the reason you're doing this heist is for this thing, and the reason that happens is for this, and then you have to find out that this is actually this, and oh my god, guess what? It belongs to this guy, and da-da-da. Oh, man. And you're like, why are you now? We're getting to a point where you're not even just showing us imagery anymore. You're straight telling us the story.
You're feeding us the game before we've got a chance to get our hands on it.
Yeah, and as much as, don't get me wrong, the gameplay looks amazing. It looks beautiful. I'm really pumped to play it. But the marketing choices are, there was a guy I follow for the news. Cool. I think his name is Legacy Killer. Yeah. And like, his only videos now are Cyberpunk leaks and this leak and Cyberpunk. He must have pages of the stuff. That and Cyberpunk. Yeah. And I'm like, maybe because it's just, the news is dry at the moment, and that was the only thing that's happening. But first of all, why would anyone want to know about the leaks in Cyberpunk? And why would you report that? Don't reward poor behavior for leaks, right? Like, no, exactly. Don't reward it by publishing it. I'm strongly agree with that. Like, if people leak shit, just go, no, I'm not interested. I'm not gonna reward your behavior for like spoilers and stupid shit like that.
No, it's just giving them validation.
But yeah, stop, man. Like,
I mean, it's
getting to the point where you're running out of things to show us. So just straight telling us the story.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we were discussing before. Like, it could be that they're showing us parts of the story, but
You could go in different directions.
you can go in different directions in Cyberpunk, much like you could with The Witcher, because no two people ever had the same experience playing The Witcher.
Yeah.
So it could be that they're just showing us one thread or a couple of threads, but we're just perceiving it as one thread. We could play this game and it could just go all around the houses.
I'm gonna go off if it is exactly what they said.
That is gonna be a hot episode.
It's just poor, man.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where you're like, look, keep it on the field.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just for a fact that you've got a quality game coming out.
Yeah.
And like the Run the Jewels music video was cool. I love
It
the
was
beat.
nice,
I
yeah.
like the music.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I'm all because it doesn't allude to anything. It doesn't tell us anything. It just gets us pumped for the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this, I don't know. But anyway, that's that. They dropped more stuff if you want to go and watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. And I'm sure there will be more, like in the closing weeks, in the closing days. It feels like days now.
Yeah, they'll do another live wire Night City thing and the Dev Diary, and I just don't think we need it. I think there should have been like maybe one or two, and then that's it.
I half expect them to do some massive kind of fanfare on its release. Like they'll do like a massive
There'll be a launch trailer that just tells you how it ends.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, by the way, this ends this way. So that's enough about Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
We'll play it, we'll love it, we'll tell you about it.
Yeah.
Okay, last little bit of news before we move forward.
Okay.
PlayStation 5, because I was hoping we'd get that, but we digressed into Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5's released. It is buggy.
Shocker.
So there's a news report on Kotaku right now saying the PS5 is kind of buggy right now.
Yeah.
Stalled downloads, crashes while games are suspended, and occasional freezing.
Yeah.
The PS5 has some great games, and it's been really fun to finally get some hands-on times with the PlayStation. But the next-gen console has some weird issues. Today, Sony has offered a workaround for one of the most widely discussed issues, known as the download queue bug. Some players have found that when they select a game to download onto the PS5, it looks like the PS5 is about to begin the download, and then nothing.
Oh, man.
The progress bar sits at 0%, downloaded indefinitely, no matter how many times players try to start the process over again. Previously, the solution was to do a full factory reset of the console.
Ooh.
Right. That's madness.
Them levels, yeah?
Madness, right? But that was extremely tedious and meant deleting a bunch of data. Especially if you've already transferred everything from your PS4, you would have to then do that again.
Yeah.
Sony is now suggesting players start up their PS5s in safe mode to turn on the console by holding down the power button for several seconds and select the option to rebuild the database instead.
Oh my goodness.
This resolves the issue without deleting anything, though still it requires some legwork and remains far from ideal for a brand new next-gen console. Sony did not respond to requests for a comment.
Ooh. I mean, look, let's be honest, right? Like, every generation something comes out. Like, let's just call it it's the first wave kind of issue. This
is the first wave issue.
Yeah, it's the first wave issue.
We have it every time.
Yeah, we shouldn't really be surprised by this. It's brand new, just dropped. Yeah, there is going to be some bugs.
Of course, but this is the thing. It's just like every time, they sell hundreds of thousands of things, and of course some of them are going to be fine.
Yeah, some will.
But this looks like it's a network issue more than anything else. But yeah, it happens every time.
Yeah.
Whenever a new console comes out, the first wave is always going to be like, again, you're going to roll the dice.
Yeah, you are. It's going to be choppy, But hopefully they get all of those issues ironed out quick time. I'm waiting until like the second or third wave until
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that slimline version.
Well, they're saying that's not happening.
Yeah, they're lying.
But then they would probably say that, they're not going to say, oh yeah, by the way, in about 6 months we'll drop a slim version. Then I was like, well, I'll just wait for that.
Yeah, no, they blatantly are. I'm waiting.
So yeah, I will get one as soon as possible. I think I'm going to wait for like second gen.
You're going to get
wave.
Get one of them and the Xbox Series S to accompany it. Yeah?
I would love that.
I'm telling you, mate.
The S might be first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa! I've never heard you say that out loud before.
Well, I think it's because I can. I can't even get a hold of one in the UK right now.
That's true. Whatever comes first.
Whatever's available first. I mean, look, even if you go to the Microsoft website, it says configure now. I don't think you can even buy one. No, it's not even available on the Microsoft website. It just says limit one console purchase per customer due to increased holiday demand. Products will not ship until the end of December.
Okay.
And that's on Microsoft. If you go to Amazon, currently unavailable.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, and I think the S is going to do bits because it's cheaper.
Yeah,
and it's Christmas.
Cheaper is it's for Christmas. It's a more accessible way in.
Yeah, and it's like hundreds of pounds cheaper.
Yeah, to the world of gaming.
Yeah.
Once you've got that Games Pass, I mean, sorry, we're coming back around to this.
Aimed for the kids.
Yeah,
it's for the kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Genius.
I'm just gonna come out and say, look, I am gonna buy a PlayStation, but I am fully behind Microsoft for their Xbox. I am, because I want to see them do well, and I want to see them create some waves. I feel like Sony has just been walking pretty for a little bit too long.
Yeah, and
they
then
need
you can
a challenge.
tell, like, even just from like the unboxings, you look at Microsoft's unboxing, you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
And you look at Sony's unboxing, you're like, all right, you were just trying to get a thing in there, weren't you?
In it, like just any old shape of polystyrene. It's just in the box.
You just feel like, I don't care, man. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with the news. We'll just kind of keep it to a solid 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Today's episode, we want to talk about the Game Awards.
Yes, the Game Awards. What's it? 10th? It's the 10th.
The 10th.
Yeah.
Of December.
Wow. And hold on a minute. Isn't that the same day that
Cyberpunk
drops?
And The Medium.
Ooh.
Innit?
Look, I'm not being funny, but I ain't got time to watch nothing on that day. Like...
We're gonna talk about it, and then we'll just report back. So
wow,
the 2020 nominees. We're gonna go through this.
Okay.
The first one, Game of the Year.
Yeah, okay.
Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields.
Okay.
So the Game of the Year's nominees are Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades.
Okay.
Animal Crossing: New Horizons, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Right.
I think The Last of Us Part 2 on Game of the Year is controversial.
What? Why?
I don't think it's Game of the Year. I don't think it's Game of the Year compared to the other ones. I think that Ghost of Tsushima, and Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Hades, are like good contenders. I'm surprised, but I gave it quite a low score. Because do you see how divisive it was? It was so...
Yeah, it was, to be fair.
Some people panned it. Like, if you look at the reviews and stuff, some people were, like, lauding it as the best game ever made. And some people were, like, they completely fell off with the narrative here.
They did. And then there was a weird subset of people that panned it, but hadn't actually played it.
Oh, jeez.
Which is just like, well, what are you doing YouTubing about it? But that's another story.
So I know what I said was controversial, but I'm curious to see what people think if it is
I've got
Game of the Year.
I've got a controversial one.
You think it is Game of the Year?
It's not even about The Last of Us, to be fair. It's about Final Fantasy.
You don't think that should be Game of the Year?
I don't think it should.
Okay, that's interesting. No. I think that's a fair comment. I think that as much fun as I had with it, this is going to be real controversial.
I know, it's going to be a deep
It's
episode.
pretty forgettable in terms of the other things that have come.
Exactly.
I agree with you. Okay, good point. Good point. All right, I'll come around with that.
I haven't played Ghost, but I know from its I know from the fact that it's so highly revered that it's going to be a phenomenal contender, right? Obviously, Last of Us 2 I played, and it's just the emotional weight of that game.
Look, I think I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve an award.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if it's Game of the Year.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just saying, like, those two in comparison to Final Fantasy VII and my experience of Final Fantasy VII.
No, you're right. I see that.
It was super fun gameplay.
Yeah.
Do not get me wrong, and it was a really nice, hot looking update of a game that is so highly revered and so well loved. But yeah, like you say, there is kind of a forgettable
now that you said it, no, you're
element
right.
about it, and I don't know if I'm subconsciously marrying this with the fact that there's a lot of ambiguity around the release windows of the next parts if we're ever going to see them.
Yeah.
So I think
that knocks points.
Yeah, it knocks
points. You can't
points.
give like part one of a Game of the Year.
Yeah.
All right. No, I get that.
Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Hades I haven't played. Doom Eternal, I know many people that have and they loved it.
Doom Eternal was very, 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 very good. I did really enjoy the game. I still don't think Game of the Year. To be honest, I think Hades I haven't played enough of. But I've seen a lot of it, and it does look great. And Supergiant make great games. Supergiant made Bastion and Transistor,
Mm.
and another game that I can't remember. But they're very, very cool. The music's always super on point. Their art styles are amazing.
Yeah.
And I've seen the internet blow up with how important this game is. Hades can. I don't know what Hades can be played on. I know it's definitely on PC. It's on Steam. But then, Animal Crossing, I know, just took the world by storm.
It really did.
And like everyone was obsessed just by a sheer numbers game. Animal Crossing is a contender. Personally, I think just as a change of pace, my vote would probably go to Ghost.
I can see that happening with a lot of people. Yeah, I can see that happening.
So which one would you click on? Where would your vote go for these guys?
Oh man, I mean, it's hard because I haven't played Ghost, so I feel as though it'll be unfair for me to say that it would go there.
Yeah.
If it was going to be anything out of the bunch in terms of what I've had experience with, it would be Last of Us Part 2.
Wow. Okay.
It would be just from the fact that that's the experience that I've had. If I played Ghost, it probably would be that.
Yeah.
Instead,
I just feel like
I feel like I need to be fair about how I.
No, of course. Yeah. I just feel like Last of Us has a lot going for it. I just don't think it's Game of the Year. All right. So best game direction was
Jesus.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and Last of Us Part 2.
I mean, is this going to be one of those awards where it's just like the same three games are just popping up every single time?
Let's do this. Awards awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
That's going to go to Ghost. That is going to Ghost.
Half-Life Alyx looks incredible, but also I don't want to pay. I think it loses points for me because you need £1,000 to buy the kit to play it on.
Yeah.
But I would say Ghost. Last of Us Part 2 definitely a solid contender.
For sure.
But I would say Ghost.
Yeah. I feel like it will be Ghost, Last of Us Part 2, and then Final Fantasy maybe.
Then maybe Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
In terms of direction, Final Fantasy did crush it.
Yeah.
Best narrative.
Oh my goodness.
Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Final Fantasy VII,
Wow.
The Last of Us Part 2.
Is there any point in these
12
awards?
Sentinels, Aegis Rim. I haven't played 12 Sentinels, so I can't comment. For outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game.
Now, before we even tread this path properly, right now, we were saying before that The Last of Us Part 2 was heavily divided.
I would give best narrative to Last of Us Part 2.
Would you?
Yeah. Because like I said, there is so many great things about The Last of Us. I just didn't think it deserves Game of the Year. But I do think that the narrative and the storytelling in The Last of Us was top tier. I thought
I can agree with that. Yeah.
The fact that it made me feel a kind of way about Abby, and the way it made me feel a kind of thing about what they did to Joel and Ellie, and the fact that I was so invested, whether it's angry or in love or whatever it is, it made me feel a kind of way. And I was still talking about it with a friend of mine last week.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the kind of game that people are sitting there. It's like those TV shows that come once in a blue moon where everyone's talking about it.
Talks about it.
And they're talking about the story and how it made you feel. And did you think it that? For me, is good storytelling.
Fair play.
If it makes you hate the character, then it's done its job. If it makes you love the character, then it's done its job.
Yeah.
If it splits the audience down the middle, it's done its job.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I agree with that.
I would say best narrative for me personally would be The Last of Us.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where Final Fantasy fits in for narrative, because we don't know the narrative.
We don't know it.
We don't know where it's going.
It was good, but we know it. Like, we know from the original.
Yeah.
The storytelling is good, but at the same time, we don't know where we're going, and it's not complete.
No, exactly.
So as an isolated story, sure, it was great, but also I'm coming at it from a fan of the original, so I give it a lot of wiggle room.
Yeah. True that.
I haven't played 12 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, so I don't know what that is. So where would you vote
for best narrative?
Best narrative.
It will have to be Last of Us.
Yeah,
it would be for all of the feels that it gave me, and for all of the the choices that I had to think about, or rather the choices that I felt I was forced into as part of the narrative, that I had to do, even though I was very, very reluctant to do them. I don't want to give spoilers here. That's really good. That's a mark of a good narrative, good storytelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best art direction. Guess what? Hades, Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII Remake, The Last of Us Part 2, and Ori and the Will and the Wisps. I am 100% going to give this to Ori.
All right.
Okay. I've played Ori. Those games are unbelievably creative.
Yeah.
Flawless design. For those that don't know, Ori and the Will of the Wisps is a Metroidvania 2D platformer style game. And it's about this little creature called Ori that is out in the world. Look it up. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it is incredibly emotional. It is incredibly great storytelling with very little words. It's gorgeous. Anyway, best art direction for outstanding creative and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation.
So you wouldn't say Ghost? Because I know there was a lot of art direction that went into Ghost.
Beautiful.
And they specifically went down the Akira Kurosawa route for this game to help bring the story to real life sort of thing.
Yeah, it's hard because look, Ghost of Tsushima is beautiful.
They've done
they've done an incredible job, and it is an incredible thing to look at. The colors are amazing.
Yeah.
The open world is amazing. Everything like that. They've gone for like a kind of like a real world photo real kind of look, but with like heightened Kurosawa style imagery.
Yeah.
Which I loved.
Yeah.
But Ori and the Will of the Wisps, everything has been created from scratch, from the ground up. It's all part of the imagination. The story is the look of it, the color, the feel, the art direction, the art style. It just blows my mind. I love Ori. I think the Ori games are unbelievable.
Okay. And how would you compare that to or compare those to say Last of Us or the old Final Fantasy?
The art direction, like if it says like technical achievement in artistic design and animation, Last of Us Part 2 was amazing. I mean, it was probably the best looking game on the PS4 in terms of like technical ability. The fact that it felt like they really pushed it to its limits.
Yeah, and they really got the mood right.
And they got the mood right, and the sound design and like everything. When you're going through the park and you first meet the Scars, that stuff stays with me, and it was amazing. Photo real, they just crushed the life out of it. But it didn't. I did sit there and like enjoy it when you're outside, when you're in the theater and you're outside and it's raining, and I just started. I have taken more photos in photo mode on The Last of Us Part 2. As someone that loves 3D animation and as someone that dabbles in 3D animation, it was a masterclass in these are the big boys. These are the elite at something that is so. These guys crushed the life out of it.
All right, hear that.
But it still doesn't make me feel the same way as Ori.
Wow.
I don't know why. I think it's just an emotional response.
Okay, I hear that. I mean, you did say about Ori that there's a lot that is just come straight from the imagination sort of thing, ground up, and they've just put all of these things together just purely imaginatively. So is it because it's more of that? It's almost like it's something that has just come from almost nothing in a way, and it's just created this really beautiful.
Yeah, well put. I think it's a case of like heightened colors.
Yeah.
The vibe, like when you fight the giant spider monster that comes out, and it had a bigger reaction to me going, wow, look at that.
Yeah. Okay.
As opposed to The Last of Us, which still had me go, wow, look at that, but more kind of, oh my god, look how well that tree's been made, or look at the water, oh my god, look at the rain effect.
Because it's worlds that we're kind of already familiar with, in
a
sense. So it's kind of difficult in a sense to really push that boundary unless you do something like Ori and just
go mad,
just paint with your mind.
I mean, you see games all the time where you have these massive moments. I mean, look, I'm playing Destiny 2 at the moment, and the backgrounds of these games blow my mind, because you walk into these huge caverns where these like big mythical pyramids are, and, and you think, gee, like, how are they doing these things? Like little things in The Last of Us when you look up and it's raining and water falls on the camera, on the lens and stuff. They didn't have to do that, but it's such a nice touch because it puts you in it.
It puts you in it, and it just kind of feels like they care.
Yeah,
You know?
What are you putting on your sexy voice?
I don't know.
What's
I feel like it was the right moment.
I don't think Final Fantasy. Like I said, Hades is tough for us because we haven't really played it, and we don't feel like I'm not qualified to comment. I want to.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima, I think is a close second. I would probably go Ori, Ghost, Last of Us, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is a good looking game, but it didn't make me go. I think it was more just like, oh my god, look what they did to Cloud.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't a lot of wow. There wasn't a lot of wow, but it was, you know, it was fun. It was fun.
Just nice.
It was just fun to look at. Yeah, just fun to see the upgrades of the characters and stuff like that. That was cool.
And what they did with Midgar and the plate and everything, that was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we stuck around on that one too long. Best score and music. For outstanding music, inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack.
Wow. Okay.
Last of Us Part 2, or In the Will of the Wisps, Hades, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and Doom Eternal. I think Final Fantasy 7 Remake is cheating.
Explain why.
Because the music, we already know the music. We already know the music's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And they're basically taking old music, making it new, and putting it in the game.
Yeah.
Like One Winged Angel, stop it. Like that's obviously.
Yeah, no, that's true.
We know that music is amazing. Like just as standard, I would give it to Final Fantasy, but I feel like as an original piece. I don't think it's fair to say Final Fantasy because that game they've been working on the music for 20 years. So.
Yeah, that's true.
No, not 20. Yeah, 20 years. No.
It'd be about 20.
Yeah, 20 years.
Yeah.
Over 20 years.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I mean, I feel as though. What would I go out and buy the vinyl to?
I own the vinyl of one of these.
Yeah, I know you do. and you know what? I'll probably go out and buy the same vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I own the vinyl for. Oh no, I own the vinyl for 2 of those.
Oh wait, so which other one have you?
I own the vinyl for Ori.
Oh wow, wow! I didn't know you had that. Why
Yeah.
have you been keeping that one?
That's locked away, mate. That.
Okay.
So I own the vinyl for Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
And I own the vinyl for Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Yeah. And I would buy the Last of Us Part 2 vinyl as well. I've got the Last of Us Part 1 vinyl.
Oh wow.
Which is
I don't know.
Which was on that came from Mondo.
Oh, that's
Mondo
right.
Tees,
Yeah, Mondo.
And that soundtrack is just a phenomenal piece of music. And this one, for me, it just kind of feels the same like that. It's got that similar vibe. It's got that similar mood, and it's just all really, really well composed to fit the worlds that you're in. And it's like when you have favorite pieces of film music, like when you have favorite film soundtracks. That's what The Last of Us Part 2 feels for me, and Part 1 to be fair.
See that? Okay, so you'd give it to Last of Us.
I mean, I'm a little bit biased because I haven't played. I mean, the only other game I've played in this list is Final Fantasy, and like you said, it's kind of. Well, we know that.
It's amazing, yeah.
It's cool. It's nice.
Doom Eternal is basically ear bleeding like heavy metal. It's amazing, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But again, Ori takes it for me. I haven't played I can't say Hades again. Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I own.
Okay. Yeah.
It is the perfect soundtrack. It hits you in all the feels.
Yeah.
It hits you in all the right places.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's subtle. It can like get your blood pumping when you're like running away from stuff.
Yeah.
I would give it to Ori.
Okay.
But you gave it to Last of Us. Cool. All right. Moving on. Best audio design. Now this is a bit of out of left field, right? Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3.
Right.
For best audio design. No idea why. And The Last of Us Part 2.
Right. Okay.
Recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design.
I mean, I don't know. It's again, I've only had one of those experiences there, and that's going to be The Last of Us, which did have really good sound design. But what was Doom Eternal like? And Ghost of Tsushima and Resi 3, because you've done all of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Resi 3 was good, but I didn't turn around and go, "Oh my god, that sounds amazing." Resi 3 as a package was kind of a letdown for me because it was
I remember you saying.
Just felt like a bit of a cash in. It felt like a DLC.
Yeah.
In terms of its sound design, it was good, but it didn't make me go, "Oh my god."
Okay.
Ghost of Tsushima, amazing. Sounded really, really cool. Doom Eternal, if you could hear it over all the heavy metal, it sounds great. The guns sound amazing. I haven't played Half-Life Alyx. I would probably give this to The Last of Us. I think the Scar's whistling, the sounds of the guns, the ambient sounds, the world sounds. I noticed that a lot more.
Yeah.
I think it was way more involving.
It was.
It pulled you in more. The sound of the rain and the water, and when you're fighting things.
Especially when you're wearing headphones as well. Like you can really
man.
hear like every little, you know.
I'd give it to Last of Us.
That's fair.
I think The Last of Us had truly amazing sound design, audio design.
Don't know.
For sure. All right, best performance.
Right. Yeah.
So, awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and/or performance capture.
Right.
Ashley Johnson as Ellie, Last of Us Part 2. Laura Bailey as Abby, Last of Us Part 2.
They're gonna split the audience with that. Go on.
Daisuke, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna butcher this. Daisuke Suji Daisuke Suji as Jin Sakai. I did butcher that. I'm gonna say that again. Daisuke Suji as Jin Sakai.
Okay.
And from Ghost of Tsushima. Logan Cunningham as Hades from Hades, and Naji Jita as Miles Morales from Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Is that even right to have Spider-Man Miles Morales in there? Like, that feels a bit
late.
Yeah, that feels a bit too late. That's cheating. That's cheating, guys. Come on.
I would probably that's tough.
Yeah.
I haven't played Hades, so I can't say Logan. Daisuke Suji. I mean, Jin Sakai was amazing.
Yeah.
But no.
I feel as though for me, because I've blatantly only played one of those out of that list, and it's going to be... I feel like it's going to come down to, so what, are you Team Ellie or are you Team...
I loved... Ashley Johnson did an amazing job as Ellie. She really, really did.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I'm leaning towards Abby just because the performance she gave was so impressive that it did get such a visceral response out of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she did her job fucking perfectly.
Yeah, she did. She did.
And for people to react the way they did, she must have done something right. And I really actually thought she did an amazing job as Abby.
Yeah, no, she did. I find that I'm struggling to decide on that one. Because for me, she gave a phenomenal performance, but so did Ellie.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I'm split on that one. I can't comfortably decide that.
I mean, Ashley Johnson did a great job.
Yeah.
With when killing one of the characters, and oh man, that's tough.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'd give it to Ashley Johnson as Ellie.
Would you?
Yeah, I just think that
even though
the farmhouse stuff at the end.
Yeah.
The fight, but even though Laura Bailey's in that one,
Yeah.
Abby's in that one. When she first kills that woman, when she pulls her into the spores.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And that face, her face changing. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna give it to Ashley Johnson.
But what about that part where minor spoiler where Abby says you've had a chance and you wasted it.
You wasted it. I gave you your lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really felt that. I felt that.
And you wasted it. Yeah, that was huge. This is why it's such a challenge, because that's where I went to first.
I see, now he's really thinking about it.
No, it's so close. It's so close. I'm still gonna say Ashley Johnson as Ellie.
Okay.
But by a
fraction, like a hair's breadth.
She wins by a nose.
Yeah.
Because Laura Bailey was phenomenal.
Okay.
Okay, games for impact. I don't think we've played any of these games.
What do we got here?
For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. The only game I've seen is Spiritfarer, and it was amazing. It's great. If Found, Kentucky Route Zero, Spiritfarer, Tell Me Why, and Through the Darkest of Times. Tell Me Why is that kind of made by the same people that made Life is Strange, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. I did have a little bit of an eye on that. I did like the first, the Life is Strange. It was quite nice. It was nice to be a part of that world. It was very much kind of Donnie Darko-esque, and that's probably why I liked it, to be honest with you, because I'm a fan of the original film.
I just haven't played any of these games. I mean, Spiritfarer looks amazing, and I love the message about ferrying people to the other side.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Best ongoing. Awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. Well,
We know who you're giving it to.
I'm giving it to Apex because it's the one I play. I've only started playing Destiny 2 recently.
Yeah.
It is. I really, really enjoy it, but just in hours alone, I have to give it to Apex.
Fair play.
And then probably Destiny, and then Warzone, and then I don't play either of the other games. So I've dabbled, but I haven't played Fortnite or No Man's Sky enough. But yeah, Apex, Destiny, Call of Duty in that order.
Hear that.
You can't really comment on these.
I can't comment on any of them.
Okay.
Well, actually, I've played a little bit of Apex, but yeah, not enough for me to say I'm giving it to Apex.
Right, we're going to start scanning through these quickly.
Yeah.
No, we'll do...
They've got best mobile in there.
They've got best indie. If you want to look this up, by the way, you can go to thegameawards.com. We're just going to scan through and get to the ones that we think we can comment on.
The meaty ones.
Wow. Best action.
Okay, what we got here?
Streets of Rage 4, Neo 2, Half-Life Alyx, Hades, and Doom Eternal.
I mean, obviously, we've played Streets of Rage.
I liked Streets of Rage,
and I loved the heck out of that.
I would give it to Doom,
right?
Because it basically just is all action, back to back, like blow your nuts off action.
Yeah. Blow your nuts off action.
And then Streets of Rage 4 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Best action adventure. Ooh, that's interesting. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Jedi Fallen Order, and Last of Us Part 2.
Now,
Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh wow, really?
I love that game.
It's so funny because my my brother hates that game.
I love that game.
I'm like, why? Like, why do you hate it? And he put it as it felt like they didn't really care about it that much. Now I haven't started this thing yet. I've yet to start it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that he's come from that side and you've come from a completely different side of saying, this game is just...
I really enjoyed it. I think it's nice to see a Star Wars game that went in a different direction and kind of tried to be a bit Souls-like. Didn't try and shoehorn, fan service down our throats, even though it has a connection, with Order 66.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they kind of stepped away and created new characters in a new environment.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they made it interesting and had it be not a hack and slash, but no, if you're fighting, you have to counter, you have to parry, you have to.
Yeah.
You can't just spam. You have to think
about what you're doing.
Yeah, and that in of itself is is in terms of him being a Jedi that did not complete his training is something that he learns with, and it's hard, and that was good. There was a sense of achievement with that.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I thought it was good. Do I think it wins Best Action Adventure? Probably not, but I really enjoyed it, and I like that it's at least nominated here. To be honest, for me, it's between Tsushima and probably
Ghost. Tsushima and Ghost.
Tsushima and Last of Us.
Yeah.
I would probably give it to Ghost of Tsushima because I felt like I had more of an adventure than I did with Last of Us. Last of Us is just very heavy and very like when I hear the words adventure and action, I'm like, yeah, man, it's cool.
I suppose you don't really think of The Last of Us like with that. You're just thinking about the heavy story.
Yeah, you're like, gee, this is it's a narrative. That's why it gets best narrative.
Yeah.
But I would probably I would give Ghost of Tsushima best action adventure.
Yeah.
Best role playing. No. Best fighting.
Okay, what we got here?
Grand Blue Fantasy, Mortal Kombat 11, Street Fighter 5, One Punch Man, A Hero Nobody Knows, and Under Night in Birth. These Japanese fighting games. Under Night in Birth, EXE, Late CLR.
I mean, right. I mean, I've played 2 of those, as you know. We both have.
Yeah, I haven't played Grand Blue. I'd give it to probably Mortal Kombat just for creativity alone.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I'd give it to Mortal Kombat just for the fact that...
you just want to spit in the eye of Street Fighter right now, don't you?
I really do. Screw those guys.
Other than that, there isn't... And I think that's kind of it, really. And then it goes into like the esports stuff. But all in all, I mean, look... Well, I'll wrap this up. It looks like it came down to 3 games.
It really did.
Which is so funny. Like, you'd think they'd try and be more diverse, but it was basically Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, Hades,
Yeah.
and that's it. Like they're the big three. I mean,
Not Final Fantasy.
no,
Not at all.
not really.
I mean, it's okay. Final Fantasy is going to be somewhere in the top 5, which is which is why it was nominated. Obviously,
they won't get podium. I don't think it'll get podium.
Nah.
I think it'll be lucky if it gets a win in anything, but it will definitely get.
Oh wow, a win in anything.
It's just because there's quite a lot of contenders.
Yeah, strong contenders.
Strong
at that
contenders
as well. Yeah,
man.
You know, that deserve their place in the nominees.
So that's it. Yeah, have a look at it, man. See what you think. The Game Awards. I think Ghost of Tsushima is probably going to clean house. Last of Us is obviously going to clean house.
Yeah.
And then Hades, which I'm gonna have to have a look at and get back to you guys.
Hear that?
So yeah,
Don't know.
moving on.
All right.
What are we saying? Battle shots and bar fights.
Battle shots and bar fights. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Who you got?
Do you have one?
I don't. But let's let me think.
I'll tell you what. I got one.
All right.
Doom Guy
Yeah.
versus Master Chief.
Doom Guy versus Master Chief. Yeah.
Yeah. Master Chief from Halo.
Oof.
Doom Guy from Doom.
Who
Who would win in a drink off?
And they're both rock and roll.
And they're both rock and roll, and then a big old fight at the end.
Yeah. Wow.
I think I know. I know who I'd pick.
You know who he goes to straight away?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Hell of a fight.
It would be a heck of a fight, and I feel as though it's one of those things that would just really, really tight. Really.
Maybe,
It could potentially be tight. I'm giving it to Doom Guy.
I'd give it to Doom Guy. 100% give it to Doom Guy.
100%. What?
Yeah.
With wow. Like Master Chief wouldn't get a look in.
It would be a fight,
Yeah.
but Doom Guy is like raw.
He is.
He fights demons and stuff.
Yeah, but
Halo, like Master Chief, he fights bad guys. He fights aliens and some rough stuff.
yeah,
But-
some aliens and some rough stuff. I mean, that kind of says it all.
Robots
There.
and stuff and blasters and those little gremlin things. But like,
Be fair
Guy,
to Master Chief.
Doom Guy, he's been through it.
He has. I mean, he's literally been to hell and
He's
back.
seen some gnarly stuff.
Yeah.
Trauma scale.
Yeah. We're bringing back in the trauma scale. The trauma scale is large.
I think he would be
on this
way more. He doesn't deal with that. Like, hey, Master Chief deals with some nice people, gets some backup from squaddies. It's all good.
Yeah.
Doom Guy's got none of that.
He just gets dropped into the 7th level.
Just rip and tear. Yeah, I think he would. I actually think he would outdrink and outfight.
Yeah.
Master Chief.
Yeah. No, I think I have to agree with that. He's just too
Road.
ready. Yeah, he's too rogue.
Yeah.
He's just on it.
But I think he would just start getting like, it would be one of those things where it's like, this isn't a fight. He's trying to rip him in half. It would just be could you imagine?
I mean, when you have to kind of like move around demons that are just trying to blow fire at you, and
I think he'd rip his arm off and beat him with it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It'd just be, there'd be no, like, I think Master Chief has like,
poor Master Chief, man.
rules and like, honor. Whereas I think Doom Guy's like, nah.
No, there's no time for that. I gotta get out of this hell.
Yeah, I gotta end you and leave.
There's a demon who's got a flipping like bazooka for an arm.
Yeah.
Trying to kill me. Nah.
Trying to eat me. Yeah, all right. That was easzy.
Yeah, nice and easy.
If you disagree, let us know. Let me know what you think. If you're a Halo guy, if you're a Master Chief guy, tell me why. Why do you think? Why do you think he would win?
Yeah, please let us know in the comments.
But as always, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoyed the Game Awards, and let us know if you think that you think other games would win other than The Last of Us, Hades, and Ghost of Tsushima. It's always been fun, man. Like I said, you can find us on the usual spots.
Yep.
And come hang out with us next week.
Come and hang out with us, and remember to just keep it civil in those comments.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Take it easy.
Peace out, guys.